one season, and half of the season is taking place just in 4 days over the course of this weekend in Indonesia.
Yeah, and in this morning's practice sessions, it was Furusato that led the way by a couple of tenths of a second, so keep an eye out on the number 15, the outside of the second row.
Furusato leads the championship, 100 points out of 100. Can he maintain that unbeaten run over the course of the Indonesian round this weekend? Lights out on race 1 of 4 at the Mandalika International Circuit. And the immediate fast start is with Daniel Sharil, the pole sitter. Will watch out for Furusato, the number 15, cutting his way to try and claim the racing line in towards turn number 1, but he's going to get squeezed up there between 2 bikes. Another tries to come round him. He jostles for position in the mid-pack, and this is exactly what we've been saying. We've got our championship leader heading to the inside. It's going to be single file through here, turns 11 and 12, in towards the final sector. Sharil chooses now down the inside into 12, catches Furusato by surprise. Opportunity for Furusato on the number 15 here to make a recovery in similar fashion as they come off 13 and 14. What about a lunge into turn 16, the slowest corner on the circuit? Daniel Sharil looking for his first race victory since his return to the Asia Talent Cup. He was last a winner in Thailand 2018. He's fighting for the lead here against Furusato, the championship leader, who goes soaring around the outside bravely. 2 turns to go, 16 and now 17. They come through the left-hander, and it's Furusato who once again leads. It is Taiyo Furusato of Japan to make it 5 wins out of 5, and the inaugural race victory at the Mandalika International Circuit goes to Taiyo Furusato. The first time this season that he's been off pole position, the first time he's ever been off pole position in the Asia Talent Cup, but he doesn't disappoint. He comes through to the front. He leads almost throughout. Daniel Sharil was disappointed with that, shaking his head in his hands practically as he made his way back in towards turn number 1. Sharil's second best, but only by 2 tenths of a second. That's 3 races in a row now where he's tried to give Furusato a real run for his money. Gunmie with his 3rd podium finish of this 2021 campaign, 2nd time that he's finished in P3. Carter Thompson, an isolated 4th position in the end after late drama for Hakim Denish. So it does look as though we're only going to have 14 finishers to this race. I think I cursed it earlier on when I said that there hadn't been that many retirements in the Asia Talent Cup in 2021. And that means that Fadilla on the Raycat Fadilla, making his debut in the Asia Talent Cup, is a strong performer, the Indonesian rider, with P5 ahead of Herjan Ferdaus, who takes P6, and Sharil, Pratama, Fujita and Buapa eventually remounting to come home for 10th place. So a bit of wacky races at times, but the one thing that was, as we might have anticipated before the lights went out, a fine victory that from Furusato, bowled around that final sector in particular.
Yeah, Furusato coming through from the second row of the grid, and he'll have to do the same again in tomorrow morning's race, but certainly for him, he was able to show once again the talent that he has on offer. That last corner move that he made through the long right-handers, the ever-decreasing radius right-handers, it really was impressive. That took your breath away, really, and Daniel Sharil did nothing wrong during the course of that race. He holds the right line on the run into those right-handers. You saw him whenever he came across the line, he had to look up to the skies and just think, what do I have to do to win a race?
And aggressive when he needed to be as well through turn 12. I wasn't expecting really to see a move there, but Sharil had got close enough to try and strike and capitalised on the opportunity.
Yeah, and I think for Sharil, put everything he could onto this and left it all on the track, and we saw that he was able to set fast lap times to bridge himself back up to the 2 race leaders. But ultimately in that final lap, Furusato just had that little bit in hand, and a really daring move by Furusato. But that's why he's the rider that's already guaranteed to be on the World Championship grid next year.
This is one of the men of the moment as far as the Indonesian spectators here this weekend will be concerned. Raycat Fadilla, the number 24, on his Asia Talent Cup debut, and coming home for 5th position. A couple of Indonesian riders scoring decent points here today, and every reason then for the spectators to be satisfied, and hopefully their riders will come back for more here over the course of this weekend. We've still got 3 races to go in the Asia Talent Cup for 2021, and indeed for this Indonesian round. We've got effectively 2 rounds this weekend, round 3 and round 4 of the Asia Talent Cup, with 4 races, as I say, in total. Looks as though Daniel Sharil is paddling his way back towards the podium area. We will have celebrations with our top trio. But for Asato, as far as he's concerned, another race victory. It's only 5 points gained, damage limitation for Daniel Sharil. But if he is a race winner here tomorrow, that will be enough to seal the Asia Talent Cup. Yeah,
and certainly you wouldn't bet against it for Asato with the form that he's been in, and just the manner in which he was able to take that race victory, and could well be the latest Asia Talent Cup champion as early as the opening race of tomorrow. And certainly from that point on, it's going to be a very different weekend as well, because we also have a qualifying session tomorrow morning, and that'll set the grid then for races 3 and 4 this weekend.
Yes, we're watching a future Grand Prix rider, and don't we know it, the way he carried himself in that race.
Yeah, he looked like he had it in hand all the way through, and that last lap move, to be that cool and calm after being stuffed down the inside through the fast corners in the middle of the lap, that really does show that he's able to keep a cool head, and that's what you want to see in the Asia Talent Cup from these riders. This is one of the big talent pools that's available to the Grand Prix paddock and to the Superbike World Championship as well, and certainly on their road to MotoGP, he's been able to show just how good he can be. Even if you think back to last year, he actually led both races in Qatar on the last lap, but got caught out. He hasn't been caught out this year. Plenty of character being shown by Daniel Sharil as well today. The number 21 coming home for another second position. That's 3 in a row for him. The wait continues for a first victory since 2018. But as I say, plenty of character, and that's not surprising given his remarkable story, as I mentioned at the top of the programme. Yeah, really has been impressive to see the recovery that he's made from those injuries in Sepang a few years ago, and we saw in this race again that he's got the heart to try and keep himself in it and dig deep to try and close the gap to those race leaders. He rode a really good race, just ultimately one other rider rode a slightly better race. Yes, his right leg completely shattered in that incident, to the extent that initially the prognosis was that it may well be an amputation. I understand stem cell surgery and so on was used to get Daniel Sharil rehabilitated. The fact that he's back on a bike at all is pretty incredible. 3 podiums in a row though, and that is his 8th podium in the Asia Talent Cup by my reckoning, and that really does take some doing. He really has done a brilliant job, and so far this weekend been among the stars of the show. The top 3 in that race are also the top 3 in your Asia Talent Cup series as a whole. As far as points are concerned, for Asato now leads it by 46 over Mie, who takes a clear third now. He is 52 back from Asato, so still could theoretically have a role to play in the Asia Talent Cup as far as title winning is concerned, but it's going to really take a derailment here for Asato over the remaining 2 days of competition. Yeah, it's hard to see it considering the form he's been in all the way through this season so far, and we'll wait and see how tomorrow goes for him, but certainly for Asato is going to want to get that championship run as early as possible, and that'll be race 2 tomorrow. On the evidence of what we've just seen, if anyone's going to stop for Asato over the course of this weekend, it will be Sharil, and it would be, to be perfectly honest, fitting to see him get a race victory at some stage in this 2021 Asia Talent Cup. Well, you can't bet against Gun Maye as well, because he was very impressive in this race. We saw him able to set a series of fastest laps and come through that leading pack in the early stages, so he's going to feel that he's got a chance of being able to close up and really challenge tomorrow as well. But certainly Daniel Sharil looks like, from that pole position in particular, that he's going to have a good chance of being able to try and take the fight once again for Asada. Yes, Gunmie taking the 3rd position in race 1. Just lacked a little bit of pace in the closing stages, dropped off on those last 2.5 laps and eventually finishes 1.4 seconds down. But he was able to take the fight to Furusato until, well, the first 13, 14 laps, frankly, on the number 5, and we saw him fighting his way through at one stage to hit the front as well. Tried to unsettle Furusato, but he is a cool head, is the youngster, just 16 years of age, your race winner. Second place going the way of Daniel Sharil, and your race winner, the number 15 of Tayo Furusato. Second place, and the trophy being given to Daniel Sharil. It's a 3rd second place in a row, so he's only lost 15 points over the last 3 races. The majority of the deficit comes from the opening 2 of the season, and Daniel Sharil, number 21, finished in 7th position and 6th in the opening 2 rounds of his return, his comeback event, effectively, the Qatar Grand Prix. Gap then is 46 points for Asato, once again, your race winner.
Congratulations then to our top three. If we can ask the top three now.
Your race one winner is Tayo Furusato, just as he has been in the opening 4 races of this 2021 campaign. We're into the second half now of the Asia Talent Cup season, with 3 races still to go. And as far as those point standings are concerned, well, everyone else is getting perilously close to being involved in a fight for second position, because Furusato is only one more race victory away from sealing the Asia Talent Cup.
Yeah, and it's in his hands for the opening race of tomorrow as well. So we'll see if he's able to get across the line and claim that championship.
Tayo Furusato is your race 1 winner here at the Indonesian round. Round 3. 15 and 16 to recover the lead from Sharil, who'd fought his way through. Gunmie taking best of the rest. P3 for him. He was at one stage a race leader. Only 14 finishers. Good to see some Indonesian riders in the points here today as well, including Raykat Fadilla on his debut in the Asia Talent Cup, coming home for P. He had earned a podium here today. Plenty of retirements, as we said, 7 of them in total, and the most relevant in the context of the championship was Hakim Danish. Now, Danish, who was with Gunmie in the championship standings for 3rd overall, and he is the rider who drops back as Carter Thompson makes progress into 4th in the standings. Your top 3 in race 1 here at the Indonesian round. Your top 3 in the championship. Furusato leading the way on 125.46 up on Daniel Sharil, 2nd on 79, and Gunmie 3rd on 73. A victory here tomorrow for Tayo Furusato, and he will have claimed the Asia Talent Cup for 2021. But Sharil and Mie, who were on the podium today, will hope to have another go. And remember, again, Tayo Furusato will have to start from 6th position for race 2 tomorrow morning. A separate qualifying will take place tomorrow morning as well, that will determine the grid for races 3 and 4 of the weekend.